Hey, what's up? Welcome everybody. So in this video I will fix some error and refactor the authentication related code in our phone book application. So this is another video on the series, so let's get started. So let me walk you through what I did to fix some error. So let's go to login.view component. So here there was a lot of code, so I refactor all those code to one place. So after emitting this, after successful login, we are emitting this logged in event, and let's go to app.view where we are listening that event. So on logged in event we are getting the response data from our server, same thing. So just ignore this logged in. This will just to change the authentic that navbar menus, nothing much. So this was the code that I cut out from there and pasted here. So after successful login, what we are doing is we are getting the access token from data auth access token, and we are setting local storage and username in local storage. So these two line this line I added here. So window.token, so we need to update window token, right? So otherwise it won't work. So this is the line I put it here, and another line, this thing. I think we don't need this line, just leave it for now. So we need to set the authorization header with window.token after successful login, because so we already defined this setting here, but it won't work on real time. So since this is single page application, we are not reloading page. So if it wasn't a single page application, so this will totally work. So since we do not have to update page, so we have put this configuration here. So that's some changes and fixes. So now in this video what I will do is I will refactor all this code into by using Vuex. So we create one, we put everything in our central store. So if in future we require any authentication related data or do anything, we'll fetch from our store. So in this video what we'll learn is how we can implement authentication in our Vuex application using best practices. So we'll be using Vuex to manage our central store. So let's get started. So in last video we already set up Vuex and we are fetching some contacts using that store. So so now let's create another action for performing login request. So if we go to app.view where we are performing this login action, so some variable, those variable we need is this token. We don't need this signed in, just comment it out. So so we'll need is signed in, but yeah, so first we'll need is the token. So what we'll do is we'll define this on our central store. So let's go to store index. So here state, in state we need to define another state token, so which will have the initial value getting from local storage, get item and token. So this will be the initial value of this store. So we don't need to fetch every time from window variable, we are managing it here. So if that got value, it's totally fine, otherwise it will have empty value or null. Yeah, you can give like that. Okay, so that's the store. Also, while performing login action, we are not showing any loader or anything. So we can create status auth. For now let's call it status. So this will be the status while performing the AJAX request, so that we can show any loader. Or any login success or error. So let's keep it there. And let's create let's create our getters. Okay, so getters are like computed property. So if anything changes in store, this getter will automatically update it. We don't have to worry about. So we don't have to update it in every place. So just think of getter like computed property. So let's define one getter like is authenticated. So it's authenticated. So it will have state, and if there is token, so state dot token, this variable token. So if there is token, it will return true, otherwise false, with this shortened notation. So the state will be automatically passed by Vuex to is all getters. Okay. Also let's create auth status, state dot status. All right. So now we got all variable. Okay, now let's define a method to log in. So I will call it login, and will contain same context and then payload, which will contain all form related data. Okay, actually this should be inside actions. So this is another action. Actually, you know what, we just define getter inside action. That is not cool. Like so. So we got state, mutation, action, getters. Okay, so login will have, let's go to login.view, and login will have exactly this thing, like so. So we'll do post request to login, and you know what, we got, so this thing will be getting from payload. We'll get exact same data structure. So let's go to login, and from here we can do like this dot store dispatch login, and then pass in this data. Like so. Now we don't need this thing, just this will work. Alright, so after login we are emitting this event, so we don't need to emit this because so after login we need to update all these state like token value, status value. So status value, let's update status. So let's define a mutation called auth success, and what we'll do in this is state and we'll get token value on auth success. On success event, what we'll do is state dot token, will alter our token with the new token. Also state.status will define status. So on success we'll define success. Okay, that's it. Now we need to commit that. So context dot commit, and we need to call this auth success, and need to pass the token. Let's define the token. Let token equals to response. Actually we already got that variable, so just copy that. Okay, access token equals to response data auth access token. So now this will be updated instantly, and we have access to this variable anywhere. Okay, back to our login action. Okay, let's increase the font a bit. Alright, so in login action we can import all these code from there, since we do not require it here. Let's cut it out from here. So after login we don't have to use event, paste it. So already access token defined up here. So after login we need to set token. We don't need this user, and we don't need to update this window variable because we already committed, we already did it here since we are using store. And yeah, that is already done. Okay, okay, similarly on error we need to remove this thing, remove item token, and we need to handle that as well. So on auth success, auth error. Okay, auth error, we need to commit this mutation. So if we need to make any changes to our store, we use mutation. We do not do directly. So this is how Vuex work, and this is best practice as well. So auth error. So on error we do not need token, so we can do error, and we can make our token null. Okay, so this is it. So one thing, after login you might want to redirect user to certain locations. So since we are not using this we are not emitting this event, so this will be no use. So we need to so it would be cool if we can use that on our login component, right? So after login, after successful login, what we can do is then we want to do this router and push user to home page, or redirect user to home page. So currently we cannot do that. We cannot use promise because we are not returning promise from here. Okay, so for that what we need to, we can do is we need to wrap everything, okay, everything inside promise. So let's return new promise. Resolve reject and put everything inside promise. Alright, so on success we need to resolve response. So we'll pass response if anyone need this, and on error we need to reject. Okay, so now we can do that. So let's create same thing for same kind of action for logout as well. So logout. Okay, for now let's comment this out, we don't need okay. So now on logout, what we can do is on created emit logout. So we can now do this store dispatch, although we don't have to do like okay, but and since we are returning promise, then we can do like this router push login. Okay, one more thing on logout is we also need to delete this authorization error. So we can do like this. We are not setting anything, we just want to delete this. Delete. Okay, so now no this, so everything requires authentication since we deleted the authorization error that was set, which is more secure, right? So now we need to implement this on router route. So if you go to router index.js, so now we no longer require this window token. What we can do is we have to check for store getters, and we'll use the getter we just created, that was is authenticated. Getter is authenticated. So if is authenticated, then we'll go to next, otherwise we won't. So we have no this store, we need to import that. Let's import it here. We need to import store from go out store index from this file. So now we have access to all getters. So this is how we access getter. Store getter, I think getters, store getters, and then is authenticated. Okay. Okay, so I think everything should work as expected. Let's see. No problem. Let's log out. Okay, no problem at all. Let's log in. Okay, unauthorized. You know why? So after login, we are dispatching that. We are doing login. Here we are logging in. Oh, look at, we just copied code and forgot to update that. So now everything should work. There we go. Yeah, so everything working as expected. Let's refresh. It should work fine. Actually, you know what, you can refactor all these menu related code to our central store. So let's go to index.js and let's define menus in state. Okay, so after that let's define a default menu. So default will be this no auth menu, this one. And as always, we need to define menus as getter, which will accept state dot menus. So you know what, yeah, we can also use getters here. So state getters, and if there is more code, we can use this like this also. So if getters dot is authenticated, so if this is authenticated, we'll make our actually we don't need to put this on store. We can just create getter also. So if this is authenticated, we can return this. If this authenticated, return this. Don't need to do else. So by default it will return no auth menu. Okay, now it should work fine. If authenticated, return this, otherwise that. Yeah, we don't need store because we can access that from getters. So now in app we don't need these three. Okay, also we don't need this in lockdown. In, you know what, this is making this component free from auth related code. So currently we are just making it dirty with using all auth related code. Okay, we don't need created, mounted methods. So now next getter that we want to use is menus. Okay, so now yeah, so we are using menus here. So hopefully that should work. Let's give it a hard refresh. Okay, no error so far. You can see that. Logout. Looks like it didn't updated that. You know what, on logout we are not doing, we are not updating, we are not committing that. So commit auth success token. So on logout, auth logout, let's create that also. Auth logout. On logout also we need to make state dot token. So I just keep doing these simple mistakes. State, we need to pass state, right? Log in, log out, works like a charm. So one last thing I want to share with you is so for some reason, if while making requests, while making the AJAX request, if something goes wrong or if something so it gives us authenticated or any other error, so we need to catch that error and perform necessary action in our front-end application, right? So if for example if token expired, we are not covering for that. So best practice is to use the Axios interceptor. So let's use that on our app.view, which is the entry point of our application. So if token expires or anything wrong happens, we are using the Axios interceptor, which help us to intercept our Axios request and get the response. So if status is 401 or any error configuration, so on that case we want to immediately log out our user, right? So auth logout, or just simply logout. Let's see what. So logout, yeah, this action, logout. So we want to perform logout action. Anything you can also do like this, then redirect user to your desired location. So look how simple, how easy it got. So here we do not have to write any all code related to logout. We just dispatch that action and redirect user to some location. Okay, so let's confirm everything works fine. Log in. So in this video we learned a lot. We learned a best practice for authentication to making our application more secure and more robust. So hope you learned something out of this video. So if you do, you can like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.